Chapter 977. As soon as Ian heard Alex's words, he smiled before he said sarcastically, "Oh, Alex, you're really good at bragging." Alex smiled faintly before he said, "What is there to brag about? If you don't believe me, then we can both just pay $100,000 in advance so we can spend $200,000 for dinner tonight. What do you think?" After Ian heard Alex's words, he said excitedly, "Is this true?" Alex took out his cell phone before he opened his mobile banking app as he told the waiter, "Come and scan the QR code for payment first." When Ian saw this, he really wanted to jump up in excitement. He was originally planning to spend more money on dinner tonight. After that, he would be able to claim more money when he was trying to claim reimbursement from his boss. However, his group of friends from the orphanage were really very pathetic. They kept making noise as he was ordering the dishes, and they were really being very annoying. However, Alex was now willing to split the bill equally with him. Moreover, he was even willing to pay as much as $100,000. Wasn't he simply giving him money for free? He would also be paying $100,000, but he would be able to claim for a reimbursement of $200,000. After he was done with this meal, he could go back and tell his boss that this meal was for a very big customer. Moreover, he could simply tell his boss that it was possible for him to negotiate a sale of $10 million from this customer. His boss would definitely be more than willing to reimburse this amount of money to him. He has already figured everything out. It was most important for him to stay alive. First, he had to trick and cheat two of his friends who wanted his help to make more money. After that, he would return to the company and get the $200,000 reimbursement from his company. That way, he would be able to resolve the issue with Sean Murphy. As for whether his boss would settle the score with him after, he would just worry about that later. After all, Sean was the biggest threat to him now. At this time, Ian hurriedly took out his cell phone as he said to Alex, "Okay then. Since you are so agreeable, then I shall also pay $100,000 in advance." Mrs. Brown wanted to dissuade the both of them. However, Alex waved his hand at her, signaling for her not to worry about it. For Alex, it did not matter whether this meal had cost $100,000 or $200,000. After all, this small sum of money meant nothing to him at all. He simply did not want Ian's plan to succeed. At this time, the waiter brought the POS machine over to them before they used the function of scanning the QR code to receive payment. Both of them swiped $100,000 from their own mobile banking apps. After confirming that they had already paid the $200,000 in advance, Ian smiled before he said, "If that's the case, then let's order more good food tonight. Waiter, could you bring us all the good wine, expensive and good dishes, and seafood that you have here? We're going to spend the entire $200,000 for this dinner tonight." The waiter really did not expect to serve such an expensive table today. Therefore, he immediately smiled as he said, "Don't worry, I will make all of the arrangements for you. I will serve the wine immediately." When they heard that they were about to enjoy a meal that would cost $200,000 tonight, many of their friends seated around the table were all very excited. This was especially so for Hilton, who was feeling very bitter initially. He was so happy right now that his mouth was hanging open. He was really worried earlier as he really did not want to spend so much money. However, he was about to enjoy a good meal worth $200,000 that has already been paid for in advance. He did not even have to pay a single penny for this meal. Hilton was so excited that he felt like going to the restroom to vomit out everything that he had eaten before this. After emptying his stomach, he would be able to eat even more good food later. Many of the pathetic jerks had this kind of similar mentality. If he had to spend his own money to do something, he would feel even more uncomfortable than when he was getting beaten up. However, if he did not have to spend any money on this matter, or if someone else was spending this money instead, he would be happier than anyone else. To put it plainly, he was simply a freeloader. Shortly after, the waiter served the lobster, abalone, and all sorts of other seafood. He even brought them a whole roasted suckling pig, which did not only exude a fragrant aroma but was also crispy on the outside and tender on the inside. Hilton frantically ate all of the good food that was served on the table as he desperately drank as much good champagne as he could.